Welcome into the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. I'm Ethan Ryder, joined by Jacob Runner. Jacob, we just watched ASU's Wednesday practice. A couple players weren't practicing in pretty key positions for ASU. What does that mean as they look forward to Washington?
Yeah, definitely some notable non-participants from Wednesday's practice. Nose tackles DJ Davidson and TJ Pesapea were not observed. The two of them obviously important to this ASU defense, especially Davidson, who had a great game against USC. We saw Corey Stevens take first-team reps at nose tackle, and while we aren't sure if those two guys are going to be able to play against Washington, and remember they did practice on Tuesday, it is certainly something to watch. And now there was some good news, though, on the defensive side. Kyle Soley, ASU's linebacker, did practice after missing Tuesday's session. He was knocked out against USC after suffering an unspecified injury. So that would be a good addition for the Sun Devils if they can get him back. Certainly something to watch with Davidson and Pesapea.
And speaking of good news on those fronts, we saw all four of the main guys at the beginning of the season in the secondary practicing together. What does that mean as they look forward? Because they haven't played a lot so far this season, together, I should say.
Yeah, there were some high expectations for that secondary just due to its experience with Jack Jones, Chase Lucas, DeAndre Pierce, and Evan Fields, and we haven't really seen them play together so far this year. There was a little bit of time that they were able to do so against Stanford, but that's about it. And it does look like they're going to have a chance to do so this week against Washington. All four practiced on Wednesday together with the first-team defense. Tamarcus Davis also practicing, and ASU has plenty of opportunity against the Huskies as well, with them throwing the most interceptions in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and outside of the defense, we talked to Sean Aguano in the battle of the running game. Rashad White, of course, had a monster day against USC. Diamante Traynham ended up fumbling, didn't see much of the field or rushes after that, I should say. And they talked about using two set backs just because they didn't have Case Hatch and he still hasn't been practicing. So what might we see, and what did Aguano say about that as they head into this road game?
Yeah, you mentioned the turnovers, and those are certainly a focus for that running back room, specifically with Traynham. But Aguano said that it's not too much of a focus because he doesn't want those turnovers to be something that's constantly in Traynham's head. He doesn't think that he's a turnover-prone back, even though he's turned the ball over 3 times in ASU's last 4 games. And so it is something that they're working on, but it is not a main topic. And you mentioned those 2 back sets. That is something that ASU does want to go back to if Case Hatch can't play against Washington with Rashad White and Diamante Traynham. You do have Daniel Nagata available, though he only received 3 carries against USC. So that is something to follow as well, just how much ASU will use those 2 back sets, something it did not do after the first quarter when Traynham lost that fumble against the Trojans.
Yeah, ASU with the big game in Seattle against Washington. Some of our members, including Jacob, will be there on hand, so make sure to stay tuned to all of our content. But for now, that's Jacob. I'm Ethan. That was a Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill.